session 2, we started with a statement, the last time we talked about blank. Great coaches anchor and link their conversations to the previous conversation you had with a person. Practice this concept. It works. Session 2 was really about performance. We spoke about the 3 hats that you wear. Sometimes you're the manager, sometimes the leader, and sometimes the coach, and sometimes during the day, you can wear all 3 or only 1 hat. Message repetition is really important for an idea to stick, and we will talk about those 3 hats at the beginning of every session. We also talked about great ideas in coaching. The first is, players don't play unless the coaches coach. You can pick any sport, you know it's true. We also introduced the law of limited performance, a concept that we will cover in every one of our sessions. The third is really important. You can only change you in your approach. And finally, team effectiveness looks like this. Right person in the right job, doing the right activities, committed to those activities. So much about coaching is about the coach. The coaching model. It starts with growth, goal, reality, options, and way forward. We added the 5 C's around communication, clarity, capability, commitment, and creating trust. In this session, we focused on communication. The big idea is that communication comes into 4 different styles. There's talker, doer, supporter, and controller. As a coach, you adapt your coaching message based on the individual you're coaching and their preferred style of communication. We spent the largest share of our time together talking about your individual style report. Know thyself and how to reach and read the other person's behavior style. The handout attached to this email outlines tips for coaching and the 4 different styles. We also looked at the family portrait in our team. You can see right from that picture the tensions and communications that are likely to happen just because of differences in behavior style. Before our next session, come prepared with 3 deliverables. First, read your behavior style report one more time. Look at page 16. Come with that completed. I will ask for a copy. Second, spend the time before our next session to really understand the behavior styles. Review the attachment on behavior styles to this email. And 3, complete a behavior styles checklist. Complete this checklist that's attached to this email using a member or perhaps the person you want to coach from your team. We will start in session 4 actually doing coaching. We also spoke about performance. I asked 3 questions. What percentage of your team's potential shows up at work? The morning session had a different answer than the afternoon session. The most typical answer is somewhere between 60 to 80% of the potential shows up. This gap is huge and worth potentially millions of dollars if you can capture it. We spoke about the roadblocks that keep people from reaching their potential, and the most obvious and the one in your control is the coach. We had a great conversation about performance and how do you manage performance. We talked about ways about measurement. There's input, output, and outcome. The example, the tomato. Seeds are the inputs, plants are the output, fruit, the tomatoes, are the outcome. We also looked at ways to measure performance. We did that together in those breakout groups. We had 25 measures identified. Really nice work, team. We also looked at how do you measure branch and business performance. Next concept was the law of limited performance. People settle on the level of performance that the manager will accept. Managers who accept that level, the performance drops because people say, hey, they're not expecting anymore. So people stop performing based on beliefs. And one of the most important things you can keep in mind is the law of limited performance and those belief boundaries that you create in people's heads that keep them performing and living up to their potential. We also talked about performance belief boundaries that people have, and we went through them all about beliefs about performance management. And again, through all of these sessions, we will outline how do you counter all of those things, those belief boundaries that we hold. So for session 3, we'll return to those familiar hat. In this case, we'll have the hat of manager. And the topic is managing risk. I want you to Google the phrase managing within the law. We'll start you thinking about managing risk, about employment law, and all the things you need to know that just might come up. So in summary, complete the task from session 2, there are 3 of them, plus get ready to discuss managing the risk. You matter, so managing matters. Thanks so much.